Hi guys, Amber here.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Hello, Beau Billingslea.
yes,
Welcome to In
yes.
Conversation with ATF. So, you guys at home may know Beau as the voice of Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop. You may know him as voices of Homura and Ay from Naruto. I'm not sure if did I pronounce this correctly.
Hmm.
Okay, that's good. That's the fourth Raikage of
Fourth,
yeah,
fourth, fourth Raikage. Yeah,
Raikage.
yeah.
Sorry, I've never seen my before.
Shame on you.
Raikage, the fourth Raikage. Okay, okay, forgive me for that. Should we start again, or should we just keep keep
I'm
going?
I'm fine if you are.
No, it's fine. Keep going. You
Yeah,
know, everyone makes mistakes. Just proves we're all human.
sure.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Um, Also, Grukek, the plant killer, not plant planet killer in Megas XLR, Ogremon, Sagateramon, and Parrotmon in Digimon,
Mm.
Leopardmon in Digimon Data Squad, and Beau has also done some live action films and TV shows like Wizards of Waverly Place, Baywatch, NCIS, Married with Children, Murder She Wrote, and even Hannah Montana the movie as well, which is
Yes,
really
yes,
cool.
yes. Did you see that by any chance?
I didn't. Or I probably did, but it was 2009. I would have been about five.
I
So
can tell you a little secret about that. I played
oh
the mayor. Played the mayor in town,
yeah.
and we had the mayor's dinner, and we had a lobster dinner, and everybody had bibs on with a lobster on the bib, and the head was my head.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really funny, and I gave a speech, and I call it the ferret speech because a ferret got away, got loose. One of the attendees at the dinner had a ferret. The ferret got loose, went up my leg, and and I did a ferret dance while the ferret was in my pants, turned around and it dropped my pants, and the ferret came out, and it was very funny. It was very funny. The kids, everybody really loved it. But that movie was a lot of fun. She did a duet with her father, Billy Ray Cyrus, that literally brought me to tears, and I was in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience. But I just thought I'd share that little ferret dance thing with you.
That's a wonderful story to share. As I said before, I'm not sure if I've seen it or not. I probably could have done. I might not, but to my memory, I probably haven't seen it. And I feel when I do an interview with someone and I say I haven't seen this show or something like that, it makes me feel a bit ashamed. Like
Oh
I feel as if
no,
like I'm
no.
not a real fan or anything
Oh
like
no.
that. I feel like
Oh no, you can't see everything. And but I would suggest if you get a chance, even as an adult, my adult friends they enjoy the movie. People think it was just for kids, but it wasn't. It was a really fun movie. Rascal Flatts. I don't know if the group, if you're familiar with Rascal Flatts, they were in it, and
name sounds familiar.
yeah, yeah. So I was very proud that I had a chance to sing with the Rascal Flatts. We sang "Happy Birthday" to Miley's grandmother, who was, I mean, her grandmother in the movie, who had a birthday there. So anyway,
Yeah.
enough of Hannah Montana.
Yeah, it just confused me because like a character's called Miley Cyrus as well as being Hannah Montana. It confused me as a kid when I watched it on TV. You're thinking, hang on, that's the name of it. Hang on, what's going on? What's real anymore? And what's not?
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd like to take it all the way back to when your career first started, though. What made you want to become a voice actor? What was your original, uh, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Well, it's interesting you would say
Goal.
because growing up, I considered my self image. I considered myself an athlete.
Oh,
And, I was offered a contract when I got out of high school to play professional baseball here in the States. I'm sure you're familiar with baseball. And
oh yeah.
um, my father had a chat with me, and we decided that I wouldn't do that. And because I went to college on a football scholarship, our football, not your football, our American football,
Yeah.
and I had letters to play professional football with the National Football League, but instead I went to I went to law school, and so then I went into the military. But anyway, in the process of that, I did a lot of plays, and that's when I fell in love with acting. I did the lead in Dracula. I played Dracula, and a number of some musicals and things. So anyway, I decided to pursue acting as a career instead of the law. And it's funny, a lot of my friends are saying, "What are you nuts? You can't do that's not smart to do that. Be a lawyer, make a lot of money." And but I talked with my dad, and he said that he spent his life getting up to going to work the jobs he hated, so he didn't want that for me. So he said, "If you want to pursue acting, do it." He said, "You have your law degree, and if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to that. Nobody can take that away from you." So he said, "Go for it." So once my dad said, "Go for it," I was, everybody else was just noise because my dad was right behind me saying, "Do it." And I did. And it was as an on-camera actor. I did our soap operas here. I don't know if you're familiar with our soap operas, but they're daytime serials that are every day. Like one was General Hospital I did for a while, and Young and the Restless, and Days of Our Lives, the Bold and the Beautiful. And so I did those, yes.
By any chance, when you did Days of Our Lives, when about did you appear on the show? What decade? Was it 80s, 90s, noughties?
I think it was late 80s, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
By any chance, did you work with Arlene Sorkin? Calliope Jones?
I might have. I played the police chief for a short period of time, but it's been so long ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
It's okay. It's okay.
There's so many shows that passed through my life. I don't recall.
That's okay. That's okay.
But anyway, so so I was in Hollywood, and I was lucky to have a certain amount of success as an on-camera actor. And then a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to dub some foreign live action films. He was like, they would bring a German film here, and we would dub it into English. Mm-hmm. And if there was an African character, they would ask me to do it. I was a resident African voice. So, and of course, I would do an African accent. Like, I did it for my father. That's the reason I did it. Mm-hmm. And so I did a number of those. And then one day he asked me if I wanted to do anime. And I said, "What's anime?" Because I didn't know what it was. And he explained to me. I said, "Yeah, I'd love to do that." And that's how I got started in anime. And then from that, I went into video games and animated feature films and things. So that was the progress of my career. I got into voice acting kind of as an accident. I was just asked to do it, and I said, "Oh, this is a lot of fun." And I developed characters, and I like to do an Irish accent sometimes.
That's really convincing.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I was in Avion, France, a few years ago, and there was we were at a restaurant, and there was a group of Irish tourists there, and so I just stopped by their table, and I told them, I said, "I'm Irish too."
Did they fall for it?
Yeah, well, they just, I don't know, they probably didn't, but they enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. But I said, "I'm the Black Irish, I'm from County Cork, and I'm really glad to see my people here."
I honestly would have believed you, to be fair. Like, I know obviously actors like really good with accents and stuff, and I mean, I too would be starstruck if Beau Billingslea just walked up to my table.
Yeah. Well, I've been recognized around the world. I was recognized up in the mountains in Greece and
what?
In France. Yeah, because a lot of the American media goes around the world.
Oh, so right.
Shows okay. I've done, and I did a soap opera called Santa Barbara, and that became a really big hit in France and in Russia. And I did a commercial for Specsavers in England. I don't know if you know Specsavers. And so that was, I don't know, it was about 5 years or so ago. And I was actually there when I guess the commercial had been running, and I played part of a cop team, and it was kind of like it wasn't like a traditional commercial. It was like we were interrogating this suspect, and he bought glasses from the wrong people, and not Specsavers. and he had disappeared from his wife. So I asked him, what are you going to say to your wife? And he says, I don't know. I can't tell her I bought glasses in the wrong place. I don't know. I'll tell her I had an affair. It's like that would be better than buying glasses from the wrong glass company. But I've been recognized in Australia, and so it's really fun to have interaction with the fans from around the world. And of course, with social media now, it's really special because it's to actually have conversations. You like to have a conversation with lovely Amber Jones.
Yeah.
I do my Irish accent.
Little cat ears.
with her cat ears.
I thought I'd like to show you a little something.
Okay. All right.
I didn't realize it's from 2011. So, as I was a big TV buff when I was probably about 7, there is most likely a high chance that I did see this advert.
There it is, Specsavers.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like wow, I wouldn't have thought. Like, you see these people on TV, you see these voice actors, you hear them saying stuff in cartoons, you wouldn't think, oh yeah, you'd be talking to them in like how many years' time? It's
right. That was 2011. It was, huh?
Go on then, let's have a watch.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Try again, Frank. I was at work.
Don't give me that. We check with your boss.
I got a dozen officers who can put you in Pasadena that day.
Okay.
Look, if my wife finds out
It was a moment of weakness.
you a two-timer, Frank,
He led me on.
he.
The guy that sold me these. All that money.
So what are you gonna tell her?
I'll say I was seeing another woman.
Should have gone to Specsavers, Frank.
Was that you who said should have gone to Specsavers?
Should have gone to Specsavers, Frank.
Was that you who said it?
Yes. Should have gone to Specsavers, Frank. Oh, that's so sweet of you to pull that up. That's so neat.
Oh, trust me, I'm like that. I've got to show people, like, if I see a piece of like a media that they've done and I've somehow stumbled across it on YouTube, I've got to showcase it. But trust me, every time this odd photo comes up of this car that's crashed into a Specsavers shop, people will obviously comment, should have gone to Specsavers.
Should have gone to Specsavers. I didn't realize that was like the constant tagline.
It is. Everyone says it. Like,
in 2011, I was actually in London with friends, and I was at a shop, and this brother came up to me. He's very well decked out with this two-tone shirt and a shirt and tie. He reeked of money, And so he said, "Excuse me, do you play on the telly?" And I said, "Well, yeah, in the States." He says, "But I think I've seen you here." And and as it dawned on me, oh, Specsavers, yeah. So he it's like, and my wife was with me, and it was a very nice moment. It was a very nice moment.
Oh, bless. Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of like your family and stuff, you have children, don't you? I believe.
I have 2. I have a son and a daughter. And my daughter is a CPA, she is a certified public accountant, and she's the comptroller of a corporation.
Wow.
And my son is an attorney, and he practices labor law. And I'm lucky that they're both located here in Los Angeles, at least in the Los Angeles area. So I get a chance to see my grandchildren. I have 3 grandchildren. Yeah, one is 25, my oldest granddaughter, and she's in the film business. And I have a younger granddaughter who's 11 and a grandson who's 6.
Oh.
So, yeah, and they're all in the area, so I'm so lucky I get a chance to see them a lot.
Oh, that's so sweet. By any chance, have your children or your grandchildren seen any of like the TV shows that you've done or films and stuff? I mean, because you said your eldest grandchild is 25, it's probably like late 90s, I believe. So
97. She was born in 97.
Yeah, I think I read that one of your first anime roles was like 1998. So that was just when like your anime career was kind of starting.
Right. That's when we did Cowboy Bebop in 98. We did the series.
Yeah. So have your grandchildren grown up watching the animes that you've been voice acting in, or have they just grown up, or they probably just know you as granddad or grandpa or papa?
Yeah, Papa. They call me
Papa.
Papa. Papa Bear. Right? They call me Papa Bear.
Papa Bear. Oh, bless. I was gonna say, I was saying this to someone the other night. I see all these voice actors, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm talking about Beau Billingslea, Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop, and then just to think, like, to like, when you have to I think this thing. To me, you're Beau Billingsley. To your grandchildren, you're called you're Papa Bear.
Yeah.
You're just their grandpa. Like, to me, you're like one of my favorite voice actors. So it's kind of like, and I'm only 18, so that's kind of like around like the sort of age where I'm growing up watching anime and stuff like that you're in and everything like that. So yeah, I just thought it was just really just because it's like really unique, like, if you get what I mean, because yeah, it's like different perspectives, like family and then voice actor. And then I remember talking to someone, I think you'll have to excuse me, I think the names are gone. I think it was Paul Rogg. It was Paul Rogg, or it might have been Rick Wasserman. No, I think it might have been Rick Wasserman. Excuse me, I'm probably going on a tangent here. But he was like, he has children, 2 boys, and so when he reads bedtime stories to them, he does the voices, and he's like, and then sounds like, Dad, can you not do the voices, please?
They say, shut the voices down, Dad. No
they
voices.
They don't know their dad is a voice actor. They just know their dad is their dad. Nothing less.
That's funny. Yeah, I did. I read a lot of bedtime stories. I think that's very important. That's very important. And
Yeah.
I think it's family bedtime stories. And I would read bedtime stories, and I do little characters and accents and things, and they just enjoyed it. They just enjoyed it, because that was actually before I became a voice actor, and I was just a regular on-camera actor. And but my oldest granddaughter, I didn't encourage my kids to get into show business. I figured if it was in their blood, they'd find it.
Yeah.
Because in show business, your life is like that. Up and down, up and down. No matter how much success you have these slow periods, and so I wanted them to have like a steady life. And luckily, they both do. They make an income, and they don't need me to financially support them. So, but yeah, bedtime stories was always great, and I work on their photographic memory. I show open the book, and I'd say, okay, you have 5 seconds to look at the page, and then I'm going to have you. I'm going to close the book, and I'll have you tell me what you saw, and close your eyes and see your screen. Trying to encourage them to have their photographic memory, to use pictures, and to use those pictures when they have an objective. If they have a goal, if they have a dream, close your eyes and see yourself successful. See yourself doing and being what you want to be. And athletes do a lot of that, visualization. And I think, it worked out. It worked out. They both, were very good in school and in sports, and they're good human beings. They're caring, and they help the homeless. My son gives his shoes to the homeless when he's shoes and socks. Shoes and socks are very important to the homeless. So okay, I'm getting off topic because my kids are so great.
It's okay. It's okay.
But my oldest granddaughter, I was doing a series on Nickelodeon called Just Jordan. It was in 2007 and 8. We shot it actually 2006, 2007, and she was on the set all the time. And so, and it was Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon, right? Yeah. So it was one of those shows, live action, but it was a comedy. And I was a grandpa, and I ran a diner, and I lived upstairs over the diner. And my daughter, who's newly divorced, she came to live with me with my 2 grandkids, and we would do capers, and it was just a lot of fun. And my actual granddaughter in life was on the set a lot, and she would work as an extra. Yeah, so it was. As a matter of fact, the last show of the first season, the writers wrote this food fight in the diner, and so yeah, it was a food fight. And my granddaughter was working that day, and one of the adults didn't show up. Of course, she was a minor. My daughter was always on the set, so they asked my daughter if she'd be in the show. So both of them were in the show, getting handfuls of cake, smushing it in my face, pouring Kool-Aid on my head. And I remember in the middle of the scene, my granddaughter said to her mom, "Mommy, this is so much fun!" And smoosh, she grabbed a handful of cake and smush it in my face. It was such a joy. But I think that was when she got bitten by the bug. She started doing plays and things. So now she got a degree in filmmaking, and she works on this show called I Heart Bob Abishola. Yeah, I Heart Abishola. And she worked on Last Man Standing and a couple of shows. So she's been lucky because a lot of people get a degree in acting or in filmmaking, and then they can't get a job. So she's been very, very fortunate that she's been able to use her education and make a couple of bucks and go on about her life. So she's the one in the family who's followed in my footsteps. and my nickname for her is Precious, because she's so precious. So her mom is Princess and she's Precious.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, bless. Wow. You have such a wonderful family, Beau, with your children and your grandchildren. Wow, it's like a real life fairy tale, really. Like with your offspring following you into this business and stuff. And wow, it's just like what every single actor's dream family is, if I just say that in the right context.
No, I agree with you. I mean, and what is really terrific, they're not far away. We live in everybody lives in the Los Angeles area, because I grew up in Connecticut. I don't know if you know the States very much, but Connecticut is like 3,000
friend
miles.
who lives there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's 3,000 miles away from my parents. So, when my parents were alive, my children would go to visit them in the summer, and they had a farm and a garden and animals and all of that. And so I remember my son would say, "Daddy, is it almost summer yet?" Like he couldn't wait to go back to Connecticut and in the summer. But that was nice for them. But the beauty of the situation now is there's not 3,000 miles between me and my grandkids. So my wife and I, we're very lucky that way. I've led a blessed life. I really have.
That's so sweet of you to say, Beau. Oh, I'd like to talk about the next topic, if that's okay with you. I mean, we can keep talking. Sorry, I gotta compose myself. When you just lose the words in your head for a second, and you're just thinking, what do I say? What do I say? I'm stuck with one of my favorite voice actors, and I don't know what to say. It's you kind of caught in between that sort of gap between a wall or something like that, if you get what I mean.
I understand.
Yeah.
I talk for a living, so I understand.
Yeah. Oh, I do as well. I mean,
Yes.
Well, not exactly yet, but yeah.
Well, you're only 18. You're just starting, right?
Yeah, I know, but
That's really cool.
I'm scared. I never thought I'd admit it, but I'm scared.
It's okay. Actors get nerves. I still get nerves when I'm doing work. I mean, it's that way you're alive and it matters to you.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, that's made me feel a bit better. Thank you, Beau. So Cowboy Bebop, of course, it started in 1998. But one of the most, I think, the key parts about it is probably your friendship with Steve Bloom. Because you do everything together, you do conventions, you do signings together. You were Jet Black, he was Spike Spiegel. Right, because I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Were your characters friends or enemies?
Well, we definitely weren't enemies, and I think we were friends.
Okay.
But sometimes they'd have disagreements, they'd fall out, but they were basically friends. Jet was kind of like I'd say an uncle, kind of like an uncle to Spike and Faye. And they go off to their caves. Have you seen much of it?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Okay, so you get an idea. The Bebop is my spaceship, and we're bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And but both Spike and Faye, they disappear here and there and go do their own thing. Like there's one episode where Faye takes our Wulong money in our universe is Wulongs, and so she opened the safe, took all our Wulongs and disappeared So face, she stole our Wulongs in this one episode, and but then she got in trouble and she had to call for help. so she called, "Hey, Faye, you stole all our Wulongs and now you're calling for help." And she's, "Oh, Jet, I'm sorry, Jet, but yeah, can you help me?" And Spike would disappear every now and then, and he would sometimes he had a loose connection to the truth when he was talking to me. But the bottom line is they were friends. I mean, Jet loves those two. He'd never say it, but he loved those two. And there was one particular episode where both of them disappeared from the Bebop at the same time. And so I'm just there with Ed and Ayn, my dog. And so I'm talking, actually, it's just Ayn and I before Ed came, just Ayn and I. So I'm talking to my dog, Ayn, short for Einstein. And and I'm saying, "I'm glad they're gone. I don't need them, you know." And then I hear some noise and I go, "Spike, is that you?" All excited, and I was thinking and it wasn't Spike, but and that was like a telling moment that he had all this bravado, all this macho going on, and acting, "I don't need them," but then he thinks they're coming back, and he's like jumping around for joy like a little boy. So yeah, we're definitely friends and colleagues and cohorts, and definitely not enemies.
Both in cartoon and real life. Oh, that's so sweet. To round this interview off, I'd really like to ask you one or two final things, if that's okay with you both. Sweet.
Sure.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is yellow. Yeah.
Yay!
Is that yours too?
Of course it is.
Oh!
I'm not sure you could tell or not. Well,
that's true.
Everyone always says either blue, red, or green. No one ever seems to say. You're the first person to say yellow, actually.
Oh, really? Yellow is such a happy color.
I know.
It's happy.
Oh man, like it's been.
We have the same. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's been my favorite color since I was about 5 years old. Probably younger, but yeah, because well, amber's like another name for yellow, I suppose, ish.
Right, that's true.
You know, yeah.
True.
I'm not sure if it's something, something snapped in my brain. I was like, okay, I like this color, or because it's like bright and it's just so pretty.
Yes, it's happy. It's happy.
Yeah. What's your favorite weekend activity?
Well, besides
That's
playing
not
with
voice acting.
You're right. Besides playing with my grandchildren, I play golf. I used to play a lot of tennis, but football did my knees in. So as I got older, it's more difficult to play tennis. I mean, we have a tennis court and we go out there and we hit the ball around, but I wouldn't necessarily call it tennis. So golf is my sport. Some of my greatest times is playing golf with my father and my son, the three generations. And we used to have a lot of laughs, and so we have a lot of nice memories. So yeah, golf is my sport of choice right now.
Well, you should try it with your grandson as well. Then it could be 4 generations.
Yeah, right now he's into active sports. Golf is
is he?
Yeah, golf is slow for him. So he likes to run around. He has all of this energy, so he's very kinetic.
Fast golf, run, hit the ball, run, hit the ball.
yeah. So golf is too slow for him, but eventually we'll get him into it.
That's great.
It's a nice social game to play with. And it's a game you can play late in life, like myself.
Yeah, indeed. And I was gonna say, my final question is there anything you're working on at the moment that you'd like to talk about? If it's not protected by an NDA, maybe it's just been released, or it's just been announced and you could talk about it.
Well, we sign non-disclosure agreements, those NDAs, on everything. We even sign them when we're auditioning, before we even get the job. But there are some things out that let me see. I had written some things down. Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Oh yeah, because I remember seeing you in the credits.
So I did additional voices in that. Super Crooks, Godzilla, Singular Point, Horizon Forbidden West, and Last Hope on Netflix. Oddly enough, the character I voice, it's animated. The character I voice in Last Hope, the animation, he looks just like Jet.
Wow.
Yeah, he looks just like Jet. If you see this photo, yeah, he looks just like Jet. And I also have a movie I did in Australia in 1999 is now on Netflix. It's called Silent Predators. So
Wow.
and it's it's live action. So I play the police chief. I mean the fire chief and like that. So I have some things on Netflix and continuing to do the voiceovers in video games and a little anime here and there. So as I said, Amber, I'm so blessed. I've had a blessed life with a lot of love in my life and the fans when I go to conventions, it's like absorbing all of this love from them. It's
Yeah.
it's just so wonderful, and I like to hear their stories about how my work has affected their lives. I get a lot of positive feedback about Cowboy Bebop, as well as Naruto, but Cowboy Bebop especially. People saying it helped them get through hard times in college and just having hard times in life. So it's wonderful to feel that my little corner of the world I've been able to help people and have a positive effect on their lives.
That's wonderful. That's so wholesome. Where can we find you on social media?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Beau Billingslea.
Sweet. I'll link those in the description. How about a little bit of Jet Black to sign us off?
Okay. Hey, Spike, it's time to eat. We're having bell peppers and beef. But unfortunately, because Faye stole all the woolongs, we don't have any beef. So it's bell peppers and beef without the beef.
Yes, Beau. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. It's been
a pleasure, Amber.
Wonderful.
It's been a great pleasure. Good luck with everything, and good luck with your podcast, and good luck with your career.
Thank you, Beau. To you at home, thank you so much for watching this interview with the wonderful Beau Billingslea. Go check him out on social media and go watch Cowboy Bebop, because I will. I will do, definitely, for sure. Beau made me do it. So with that, I'll sign off here. So thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay happy, be kind to yourself and to others. Thank you for watching. Bye and cut.